Hey y'all, and welcome back to Cajun Country Livin. Well, the rain has finally set in, and I think that Jim is actually kind of excited about this rain settling in because now we can move on to the next segment of, would you like to do the honors, honey?
Is it junk or is it a gym?
And I think at the moment it's definitely junk.
Definitely. Definitely junk. With all the projects that we always have constantly going on and we keep adding to the list, we haven't had the opportunity to work on this little diamond in the rough. So each and every time we begin a project, here comes the rain. So no time like the present to get started on her. This is a 1991 Club Car DS 36 volt golf cart. Now golf carts are kind of becoming all the rave because the price of UTVs, side-by-sides, are going through the roof. So around farms, around homesteads, or just people doing work around their house, these are becoming more and more popular. Well, a lot of times here, whenever we need to use ours, one of us has it and the other one needs it.
And to clarify, he's talking about the side-by-side. This sucker doesn't run.
So we were able to get this thing for next to nothing, but we're not sure how much is actually left good of this set of bones. So we're not really sure what's left here that's actually good. I mean, besides the frame, don't know at this point. We might be sitting on a gold mine, or we might be sitting on some scrap metal.
Now I'm going to do a little tattletale real quick because if you look on our Amazon, it seems that everything has broke on this golf cart. Now, you did tell me that over the last few years, the price of these parts has gone down a lot, right?
And I can't explain that. Maybe there's more people producing these parts now that they're becoming more popular. I don't know.
Me either, but at least the price of the parts has gone down.
Well, let's dig into it.
I didn't see a new mirror in the Amazon cart, though, and I think that needs to be a top priority. I don't think that one's going to make it.
Nah, we're only looking forward here. What happened yesterday? What's behind us? Nah, we don't even care about it.
Anchor Solix F2000 is available at an amazing discount, the biggest Black Friday deal of 2024. Watch this video to learn more about the product and make your purchase. Hey y'all, so today we're going to be taking a look at something that's become a necessity around here, and that's a power station. The Anchor Solix F2000 Portable Power Station. Now, if you're like us, living out here in the country, power can be, well, let's just say that it's really not reliable. And that's where the Anchor Solix F2000 comes in. We've had this power station for quite a bit now, and it really has been a lifesaver. Whether we're out on the road, out on the water, or dealing with the power outages that we have at home, it's always ready. I mean, the fact that it can power up to 12 devices at once with 2,400 watts, yeah, you heard that right. Isn't that crazy, y'all? It actually is so convenient. And what's really impressive is that it handles high wattage devices too, up to 3,600 watts. So if you got something pulling some serious power, like a big air conditioning or a big old saw, it's no problem. And another thing that truly blows me away is how fast it can recharge. It goes from 0 to 80% in just 1.4 hours. And here's a feature I didn't expect to use as much as I do, and that's the Smart app. You can control the Solix remotely with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, checking on the battery levels, the output, and all that good stuff that comes along with it. And you can do all that without even getting up. It's perfect when you're running things overnight or while you're out and about. Now, what really sold me on this is the peace of mind. So Anchor says that the Solix has a 10-year lifespan thanks to their infinite power technology. And on top of that, you got a 5-year full warranty, which is honestly just one thing less that you have to worry about. So whether you're camping, living off grid, or just preparing for those what if moments like we do all the time around here, the Anchor Solix F2000 has your back. Y'all have to go check them out for yourselves. The link is going to be in the description below, so y'all head there. Stay prepared and stay powered. All right, y'all, we'll see you on the next one, and back to the project.
Now just rolling this thing around, everything seems to be smooth as far as like the bearings and brakes not dragging, all that sort of stuff. But we really don't know, other than a couple little items that we know are bad because we were told they were bad. The ignition switch or on switch, whatever kind of switch this is, it's froze up and won't work. But I think Lydia's got a short-term solution for that. So we don't have a key switch. We're going to have to work by that. But I mean, all in all, the thing is complete. Yeah, it's ugly. Needs a little buff, needs a little love, but so do I.
I think we have different versions of the word complete. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more for us so we can understand that? Because to me, it looks like true junk.
You got to be able to see through it. You know what I mean? I mean, when people started mining for diamonds, they just looked like dirty rocks. Just saying.
Oh, I literally just sat in that seat, and the bottom of it started to fall out on the ground.
That's character. That's all that is. That's just straight character.
Just what you want to have happen going down the road.
What ain't like we're going to be driving 80, you know?
Now, whenever we officially get done with this entire golf cart, it is going to be a complete 180. We're going to be changing the color. We're going to be putting the lift kit on. We got some tires. Jim went to go get some of the parts right now that we're going to be changing because all that's fun and all, but we really got to get it running and get the batteries and everything to make it run first done before we can start tending to the really, really rough cosmetics. So even though this is a 91, it is going to look like a, now let's not get ahead of ourselves too far. Maybe like in early 2000s. I wouldn't go like 2025 because if y'all didn't see that in 2024, they came out with these like deluxe golf carts that have like cabin air. They have like a whole touchscreen radio and it's all got 4 doors. I mean, it is like high dollar luxury golf carting. And yeah, we're not going to go to that extent, but she'll look nice when we get done. No, I really just hope that we are able to save this because this would be so nice to have.
Well, it's one of those things that's...
It looks rather empty in there.
Hey, look, that'll buff right out. You know, it's really one of those things to where if it does work and we can get it running fairly inexpensive, it's going to be so handy to have. You know what I mean? You're going to love this thing. I know you're not wild about it right now, but I'm telling you, if this thing runs, you're going to absolutely love it.
I'm putting a lot of faith in you.
So I'm going to start off by saying, if you're a golf cart guy or gal, and I'm probably going to be misspeaking a lot because I am not a golf cart guy or gal, but if you look down in here, it's obviously missing a lot of things. This golf cart is designed to have 6 6-volt batteries, which provides 36 volts, and we have nothing.
Besides some rod and wood and some wires.
Oh, look.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not important. But I have done some research on this thing, and I've familiarized myself with some of these parts, and I understand how they work. So it should be really straightforward. All we need to do is be able to take the power from the batteries, send it to the motor in the rear end, and be able to control how much current is going to the back end.
But of course, we're not going to be putting exactly what's supposed to go in there back in, right? Might be doing a little bit of an upgrade.
That's right. The way this switch works, this is a wiper switch or a V-glide switch. So the more you push the throttle, the more current it sends to the rear end. So each one of these lugs on this switch goes to a different set of resistor coils. And you can see this is tiny wires right here. So it's a light load of resistance, and it gradually gets heavier and thicker as it goes that way. So the more resistance, the more current that you have. And that's what controls the speed.
On a typical golf cart, how fast do they go?
Well, from everything that I've been seeing, just stock, they can run 15, 18 miles an hour, somewhere around in there. I really think the target is to go with a 48 volt system, but we would have to change the motor. We'd have different things to do. And this is kind of an old setup with these old resistor coils, and I just don't think we need to go there just yet.
So a typical one's supposed to go 15 to 18 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
How fast is this one going to end up going?
Probably 2. But if
God, whenever I pushed it up here, we went faster than 2.
If we can just get it to run, that's going to be fantastic. I'm just going to be honest with you. Look, I'm going to come clean slate with everybody. I do have a vision for this cart. And if y'all have watched any of my lawnmower videos, the little clips of me riding lawnmowers, you know that I am a wheelie fan. I love riding wheelies, whether it be on tractors, on lawnmowers, on bikes, three-wheelers, it does not matter. I'm a wheelie guy. And I watched a fella build a golf cart, and he could ride a wheelie on his golf cart, and I really, really want that bad.
Okay, so that's why we're doing this project.
But I think buying all the components to be able to do that, that's going to be a long Christmas list type of thing. So, like I said, the object of today's game is just to get this thing running. Make sure everything's in good enough repair to maybe set it up to ride a wheelie.
Blaze tried to make you ride a wheelie the other day, didn't he?
He sure did, and I'm still feeling it.
The Crocs was not the best choice, even in four-wheel drive, huh?
It was tough. He got a little crazy there on me a couple times, and I thought I was going to lose the Crocs, but I am sore, but I was able to hold on.
And next time we'll put a little bit more pressure on him and maybe change out of them Crocs.
I might have to break down and put the old boots on.
Throughout this process, I'll show you all some little tricks that Jim showed me of if he wasn't here, how would I figure out, for example, what year this golf cart is. So I'm going to show you all that real quick, and I'll keep y'all up to date on all these little tips and tricks. Right here on the golf cart, you have all this information that is typically not this war, but then you have this club car. So it'll have the A and then 9-1. So 91.
I guess first thing we're going to do is take the solenoid off. I was able to find a high amp 48 volt solenoid on Uncle Amazon for pretty cheap. And I did read all the reviews on it, and it's supposed to be really good. Not that you can trust that all the time, but for the price, and it's 48 volt. So using it on this 36 volt, we should be well within the range. Just on first glance, the biggest issues looks to me is getting the old parts off and then figuring out where all these wires go. I was able to find a wiring diagram. Now, a lot of this stuff has been kind of, butchered as we went along kind of thing. So I don't know how much of it is factory wiring or not, but at least I do have a guide that will halfway get us back in the right direction. I did buy new cables to join the batteries together and to go in and out of the batteries. But other than that, we're just going to have to use these old ones for now.
I will put in the description any of these tools or parts that we got on Uncle Amazon. That way, in case y'all want to check them out, y'all have anybody that you think needs a new solenoid for their golf cart, you know? You never know. So y'all can just head down to the description if you see anything that catches your eye. I think that's been in there since 1991.
Man, that thing's been in there since Moby Dick was a minnow. Hey, one of the things I really do like about these club cars, though, I don't know if the newer ones are like that, but the old ones, the frame was aluminum. So you didn't really have to worry about them, the frame rotting in two or any of that business. They have it set up to where it needed to be mounted this way, but I'm going to run into the frame or the batteries in any direction I turn it. So I think I can take these little mounting brackets off and then swap sides. That way I can mount it straight up and down. Maybe.
There's been some thunder and Gus is not a fan. Now, Woodrow on the other hand, could care less, but Gus here, he's so scared. You don't like it, huh? Hmm? Originally, Jim was planning on rotating these brackets, but honestly, right now, before we even worry about trying to re-drill holes into those brackets, we're just gonna kind of set it up enough that we can see if it works or not. Because even though we put a little bit of money into this, that still doesn't mean that this is necessarily gonna work. So we really just need to make sure if it's junk or Jim before we start the whole remodeling process as well. So with this solenoid, the simple way to put it for us that don't, have a love for golf cart work, is it needs to be a ground, which means that it needs to have good metal connection to metal. That way it'll get the good voltage going. Right?
That's pretty close.
Close enough. So solenoid is there. Enough. So next on the list is
the wiper switch or V-Glide. I'm really not sure. It's just stuff I've seen off the internet. It could be something totally different than that.
AKA what controls the throttle?
Well, that wasn't so bad.
I don't think that hole's supposed to be there, but that's okay. We got a new one anyway.
There, I fixed it.
Jim Wayne, look at your dog.
Yes, it's just thunder, son.
Was this also an Amazon purchase?
This was. Oh, this one's so much smoother.
Well, y'all, we are officially on day 2 of a project that was only supposed to take a few hours.
We saved y'all the mental anguish of watching us try to muddle through this spaghetti bowl of wires, because this thing had been hacked up so much that it looked nothing like what our wiring diagram looked like that we got off the internet. Well, in my defense, now, I know this is the second day, but it was pouring rain, blowing rain all day. Now, we've done away with the rain, and we just have winds, like I'm sure you can hear, and I apologize in advance, but can't control the wind. But if you look in here, you'll see that we got rid of a lot of stuff. We've done some trimming. We've done all kinds of cleanup, getting rid of wires that they went nowhere. Don't even know why they were there. Now, we do have some things in here that I cut away. Later on, I found out that we really needed, but hey, that's okay. We had some wire and replaced a couple. So when we dug in here and really figured out how this thing operates, it really is as simple as we thought. It was just wired crazy. Now on the ground side, the thing that turns the solenoid on and makes it active is this micro switch that's in the controller. When you push the throttle down, it activates the switch and it lets the ground make the loop all the way to the solenoid. Now this is the wire that we deduced that goes to the positive side of the battery. And this is the wire that comes back from the ignition switch, key switch. So when you turn the key switch on, it sends power to this side of the solenoid. And the solenoid is not active until you press the accelerator, and it gives it ground and it turns the solenoid on. Now these two wires here is for the forward and reverse. This is for the forward and this is for the reverse power.
This was going to take 6 volt batteries, but instead we're going to go with these lithium batteries, and that means that we're only going to need 3 of them because they are 12 volts and extremely light, so it's going to take off a lot of the weight.
Now, being as this golf cart is set up for 6 batteries and we're only going to put 3, these batteries would fall right through these battery cases. So if you remember the chicken coop project, we had a little bit of siding left over, so we were able to cut some plywood to fill these holes. Now we don't have to worry about the batteries falling out if this thing does run. Now the way we're going to take these 3 12-volt batteries and turn them into 36 volts is to wire them just like we're wiring them. We're going to take one battery's negative and attach it to the other battery's positive, and we're going to continue on till we get to the end of our batteries, and that's the way you multiply voltage using batteries.
Now if you were to connect the positives together and then the negatives together, all that's going to do is keep your 12-volt voltage, but you're going to have 3 times as long in our situation, right?
Well, you're going to keep 12 volts, but that's going to give you 3 times the amps.
So by doing them positive to negative, you're tripling the voltage.
That's right.
Now, while Jim was trying to figure out this spaghetti of wires that we had going on, I went ahead and replaced the ignition switch. This is just a typical ignition switch from O'Reilly's. I picked the silver. They had a brass one and a silver, and I thought that the silver would look better, so that's why I picked that one. But this is just an ignition switch that you can put in a mower or a tractor, any of the following. So super simple, just a few bolts and 2 wires. All right, real quick before we try, what should happen is we should be able to turn the key switch, and Jim should be able to push the gas and the wheel should start spinning. So that's what we're looking for. Fingers crossed. All right, hit her. All right, let's take her on a test ride. Well, I wouldn't say that it's wheelie quality yet, but
I'm pretty impressed. I mean, everything works. Well, okay, let's not go to extremes. Forward and reverse works. Well, I mean, that's just extra parts, you know?
Well, now that we know that the golf cart is going to run, now we can start doing stuff like putting this lift kit on, putting these tires on. So y'all drop in the comments as well and let us know what color we should paint this. We're kind of leaning towards the red since our buggy's red and the tractor's red, but I think black would look pretty slick.
I'm really liking the black. I think with the super cheap wheels and tires that we already have for this thing, I believe black would be the right touch. Probably be a little hot, but we're not going to be riding on the fenders anyway.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you for joining us for another episode of Is It Junk or Is It a Gym? And make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. Take me home.
Let's go.